Welcome to US Rail Journeys, Series 2. In this series I travel from LA to Chicago on the Southwest Chief. Then from Chicago to New Orleans on both Amtrak's City of New Orleans train and a rail replacement bus. I then travel back from New Orleans to Los Angeles on the Sunset Limited. I also get to travel on the San Joaquins, the Coast Starlight and the Pacific Surfliner, in all over 6,300 miles in 14 days. Welcome to episode 16, where we stop in Alpine and then carry on across the desert. But first we have an incident where a lady has been verbally abusing passengers.
The train taking reservations for lunch. Lunch will be served on Mountain Time. After we leave Alpine, we will go back 1 hour. So for lunch reservations, I will be taking reservations on Mountain Time. Watches, sundials will go back 1 hour.
Okay, ma'am. This is someone else's conversation and you are causing an issue by getting into an argument. Now, you need to listen to me or you're going to be getting off the train.
I'm leaving, I'm going back there. And I would like to suggest that you do something about your anger against me.
No.
Because you have.
Okay, ma'am. You need to not get into arguments with other
You need to make sure that I don't call guest rewards again and complain about you.
Okay,
because I will, excuse me please, and I'll call the ACLU as well. I'm going back there so I don't have to be anywhere near this creepy guy.
I'm having a conversation with you, and if you're not going to talk to me, you will be removed from the train.
This has happened before with you.
Okay, and
you think that males have a right to speak, and soldiers have a right to speak, but nobody else has a right to speak.
The problem is you're getting into an argument with someone else and causing a disturbance. Okay? That's the problem.
Something? That was over by the time you got here.
Okay,
and you're the one who has caused the disturbance.
When we got here, you were still arguing with him.
He stopped after I said the last
Yes, he did. You didn't.
Yeah, he did.
That's the problem. So here's what's going to happen, ma'am. In order for you to make your destination, I need you to return to your seat and not get into any kind of arguments.
Would you get out of my way, please, so I can?
Okay.
Is that mine?
No, it's not.
That's what you want me to do because it makes your job easier. You don't have to be the referee.
Okay, you know what? Go ahead and grab your stuff. Your stop is Alpine. Your stop is Alpine.
I'm going to sue you all.
Go ahead.
You can't do that to me. Don't do it. I have to.
Yeah, we're going to need police there in Alpine.
What are you going to do, arrest me?
Elderly female.
You aren't going to arrest me.
Okay, you were argumentative with me as well.
You were argumentative with me?
She's causing problems back here.
No, I am not.
He
is causing problems. I just said, would you please not talk about that?
Okay, just go ahead and
I
grab
know
your
who complained. No, I want to talk to him.
Go ahead and grab.
I'm not moving until he comes.
He's my engineer. He's running the train. Yeah. Conductor's in charge of the train. You're looking at him.
Yeah, you're another one.
Go ahead and grab your stuff.
You're another sexist. And that's why you're fat.
Okay, go
because
ahead.
Nobody ever liked you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not your mother, and I don't care.
Okay, go ahead. Grab your stuff. You won't be making your destination.
I'm going to sue this train.
By all means.
I'm going to sue him.
By all means.
And I really didn't want to.
By all means.
They have freedom of speech. I have freedom of speech. Okay. And I know the liturgy of the Catholic Church. And it says child molestation is perfectly okay. Any child over 12 years old, any male over 12 years old can do anything he wants to any female in the house. Anything. That's the liturgy of the Catholic Church.
Okay,
and that is the original Christian church.
Okay.
And don't you ever forget it.
We're not Christian. We're not Catholic.
That's a good thing. I wouldn't be Christian. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole what it came from.
The lounge car right now. Screaming back to the coach.
You're going to throw me off anyway. What difference does it make? No?
Okay, well, the cops are going to come get you. So
I'm going to get off when we get there, and I'm going to leave the train, and the cops are going to do nothing.
Flat shirt.
I know exactly how it worked. And luckily, I didn't bring a lot with me, because I'm calling the ACLU this time, and I am suing them.
Probably in her 60s, gray hair.
70. I'm 70 years old. That's so. He speaks several languages.
Ma'am.
He was probably a CIA agent as well.
Ma'am, I need
Military
I need
intelligence.
you to please stop me.
I'm not stopping you. You're throwing me off anyway. What difference does it make?
The desert and the hills continue. It's been a blazing row on the train. A couple of passengers have had a major dispute, and then the conductor had to get involved, and somebody's being told to get off at the next station. There are some different people on this train. We're currently drifting slowly uphill past a very large freight train that I think is stopped. Our pace must be less than walking at the moment. It really is an uphill drift. I just hope that doesn't mean we're stopping here for an unspecified length of time, because we're in the middle of nowhere again.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kenny from the Tiny Car. I have made my way through the sleepers, taking reservations for lunch. About to make my way through the coaches, taking reservations for lunch. And on our lunch menu this afternoon, we're going to have our entree salad for $12.50. We have a black bean and corn veggie burger for $12.50. Natural Angus burger for $12.50. One more thing about the entree salad, folks, you can add an additional chicken breast for $3.50. We have our baked chilaquiles for $13.50. Mussels for $14.50. And on our kids menu, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Hebrew National all-beef hot dog for $7.50. Macaroni and cheese for $7.50.
Have you read it, honey?
So if any of those options interest you and you'd like to join us here in the dining car, please stop me as I make my way through taking reservations for lunch. Thank you.
I'm with Asia, that's Asia with an extra S, who's travelling on the train all the way to Los Angeles, then up to San Francisco, and then on to Japan by air. Well, I'm assuming it's by air, because I don't think there are any trains. How are you enjoying the journey?
I love it. It's very relaxing after my month and a half in New Orleans.
Is New Orleans your home?
No, it's one of my homes, I'd say. I stayed there a month and a half, so I feel there like at home, but I don't have any like place. I just keep moving all the time.
What do you like about travelling by train?
Well, I think it's different from a country to the other. Like in France, where I'm from, it takes, most of the trains are pretty fast. And it's not the same distance. I love it here in the US because it's slow and the landscapes are very different, and you go through like shitholes where you just have wild animals, and also like you take your time. It's like 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 days if you have the chance to get stuck because of some kind of floatings or whatever. I just like it. It takes longer, and you just have time to write and just do nothing.
You say you come from France, I think you said.
Mm-hmm.
Whereabouts?
From Paris.
A beautiful city.
I guess so.
Or maybe a beautiful city to tourists, and not so beautiful if actually it's home.
I just think it's hard to see the beauty in your home, but I actually like it. I love it, but it's like someone I know too much. It's hard to appreciate it the same way. I love it. I know it's beautiful, but it's more like theoretically but beautiful for me than it's more like it's so much more. It's too much for me because I'm full of it. So I don't know what it is anymore.
Are you travelling the world?
Yeah, that's what I do. I like to take my time, so I try to not like at travel. I try not to be a tourist. I don't want to be a tourist.
Well, thank you very much. It's been lovely to talk to you. At the slow drifting speed we're currently doing, it would seem that they are determined to keep this train well behind schedule. But the scenery outside is stunning, the sun is blazing, some trees are coming into leaf. I wonder where they get the water from, because there doesn't seem to be any source of water in this very dry, arid zone. It is magnificent in its desolation. And over there I can see a few houses, so maybe they've got a well or something. I hope they've got a well. And here we are, just passing a small local scrapyard, but another scrapyard in my tour of American scrapyards. Now we have sheds, rather warm in the sun. It's very strange. There's quite a large area here beside the rail lines. Some cattle and an awful lot of derelict scrap. Is this one of the great American scrapyards? So as the train's pulling into Alpine, we've passed an American football stadium. Must be a town with pretensions. Some pretty basic housing. What looks like a small church with a red tin roof. And the occasional tree looking for water. I think we're round about 5,000 feet above sea level. And of course, if you misbehave, there's a good patch of cactus here. Alpine, the gateway to Big Bend State Ranch Park, Fort Davis National Historical Site, and the home to Sul Ross State University. I wonder if it was their football pitch that we passed. The town celebrates the Working Ranch Rodeo and the Chuck Wagon Cook-Off each August, and the Big Bend Balloon Bash every September. I'm sure they came up with those names to make it hard to repeat them when you've had a few to drink. Alpine came into existence in 1882 due to the arrival of the railway, the abundant supply of high-quality water, essential to the operation of steam locomotives. The current station, opened in 1946, was used by 4,999 passengers in 2017. We've left Alpine, we're passing our first freight train. In the distance I can see the town, but we're back out into desolation, the occasional house, the occasional farm. According to the conductor, we're nearly 3 hours behind at this stage. They hope to catch some of it up before we get to Los Angeles, but they don't think they can catch all of it up.
I'd like to welcome everybody aboard the Sunset Limited and the Texas Eagle. Our final destination for this train will be Los Angeles, California. That will be tomorrow morning. We have just departed Alpine, Texas. Our next station stop in approximately 4 hours will be El Paso, Texas. El Paso, Texas is the service stop. It will be also another opportunity for a smoke break. And speaking of smoking, a couple of reminders. This is a non-smoking train. There's no smoking at any time on this train. This also includes e-cigarettes, electronic cigarettes, vapor cigarettes, anything that blows smoke. Strictly prohibited. Please don't smoke. Like I said, the next opportunity to have a smoke break will be El Paso, Texas in approximately 4 hours. If you're continuing further west from El Paso, the final smoke break will be Tucson, Arizona later this evening. I'd like you to take a few moments to review the safety instruction card in your sleeping car compartment or your coach seat. This provides valuable information in the event of an emergency or evacuation if we need to do so. Restrooms are located on the lower level of all the coach cars. Please take care while walking down the stairs. Please use the handrails. Sunset Limited and Texas Eagle features two food service cars. The car with all the windows, that's our observation car. If you go to the middle of that car, there is a stairway leading downstairs, and that's where you'll find the cafe car. Cafe car features a wide variety of sandwiches and snacks. We also have a full dining car. Please listen for announcements regarding dining car meal service. Sleeping car passengers, your meals are included with the sleeping car purchase. Please listen for announcements regarding your meal time service. Sleeping car passengers, it does not include alcoholic beverages as part of your ticket. Once again, next station stop will be El Paso, Texas in approximately 4 hours. Shoes must be worn all times while walking through the train. If you need any assistance, please look for any uniformed Amtrak personnel. We'd be glad to help you out in any way possible. Thank you for traveling Amtrak and welcome aboard.
So if El Paso is in about 4 hours' time, that suggests that we're running 3.5 hours behind schedule. We are roughly halfway through our journey, in miles, but not time.
First one will be El Paso, Texas. That's in about 3.5 to 4 hours from now. Followed by Deming, New Mexico, Lawrenceburg, New Mexico, Benson, Arizona, Tucson, Arizona. That'll be a service stop for about 35 to 45 minutes for fuel and water. Then we go on to Maricopa, Arizona. After Maricopa, we go through Yuma, Arizona. Then we head into Palm Springs. Then we head into Ontario. Then Pomona, and our final destination will be Los Angeles, California, sometime bright and early tomorrow morning. Please take note that we will not make any announcements after 9 o'clock. So it's very important if you're traveling anywhere beyond Maricopa, Arizona, Palm Springs, Yuma, Ontario, Pomona, that you stay in your seats later in the evening so the conductors can find you early in the morning. We will not be making announcements. So please don't fall asleep in the lounge car because you'll be winding up in LA tomorrow morning.
Somewhere between Alpine and El Paso, the time zone changes, so the train has now changed to mountain time. That means we've just gone back 1 hour. By the time we get to Los Angeles tomorrow morning, we will have gone back a further hour to Pacific time. At the moment, we're running alongside the road, or is it the road is running alongside the railway? It's almost as if, in this desolation, that if the two weren't together, they might get lonely. As we travel on, we pass fencing all the way, wire fencing. It's all the way along the track, and sometimes it heads off at right angles. We've just passed a gate. Putting in all this fencing and maintaining it must take an awful lot of work. People told me that Texas was a large state, but to give you some sense of the idea of travelling through it, and I fully accept that we haven't been travelling at high speed, from Beaumont, where we entered the state, to El Paso, which is our last stop in the state, we will have taken roughly 23 hours. That is a significant length of time. In that time, we will have travelled 950 miles. 23 hours, 950 miles. That's what's so wonderful about travelling by the train. It is not high-speed travel. It is travel in comfort. It is travel where you meet people. It is travel where you see the amazing scenery of this country. As we're bounding along in this hot weather, sun blazing down, I have seen a few head of cattle, I think, but not very many. I've seen a bald eagle, or maybe 2 bald eagles. And now we've got some mountains in the distance. The colours are different. It really is stunning. Sadly though, as we go along, in a place where you can't imagine people really getting to very often, you do see the odd pile of litter yet again. Some plastic bags hanging on the wire. Our polluted environment really is sad. And oh, there, over there, is a car tyre. I suppose somebody came for some hours along the track just to get rid of a car tyre. Seems an awful lot of effort when it could have been taken to a proper waste facility. We've slowed down again. Is it a warning signal? Is it the state of the track? It feels reasonably comfortable and flat. Is it the height that we're at? Because I'm told that the General Electric locomotives that we have on the front do suffer in high altitudes through lack of breath. I'm not sure. But it does give me an opportunity to get some photographs that are less blurred. The GEC Genesis locomotives pulling this train were built between 1992 and 2001. They have a power output of 3,200 horsepower, which equates to 2,400 kilowatts. Depending on the particular locomotive and the batch it came from, the maximum speed is between 103 and 110 miles an hour. Their length is 69 feet, or 23 yards, or even 21.03 metres. The width is 10 foot, which is 3.05 metres, and the height is 14 feet 4 inches, or 4.37 metres. A total of 321 units were built for Amtrak, Metro North and Via Rail. This podcast has been produced by the Mr. T Podcast Studio. I thank the passengers and crew of Amtrak's train number 1, the Sunset Limited, for making this podcast possible. Thank you for listening. Please join me again in 2 weeks.